Here's some real talk for you. The mainstream media is not going to save you, not going to save democracy, and not ever going to get back to what it once was. So let me explain. I do have a lot of experience in this space. I've spent 25 years in mainstream media before leaving and becoming an independent news creator. And there have been so many headlines lately about the media and politics that I wanted to take a minute to talk about where we are in the media and content landscape. So you've got a lot of people leaving, people staying, people coming, people going. I wrote these down on my handy dandy Post-it notes. Just in the last 24 hours, we've had Lester Holt leaving, retiring as the anchor of the evening news. Thank you, Thumb. We've had Joy Reid pushed out of MSNBC. We've had Alex Wagner staying at MSNBC, but she's not going to have a 9 p.m. show anymore because Jen Psaki, the former Biden White House press secretary, is taking that job. And there's rumors of more plans and changes to come, both at MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS. Here's the deal, folks, okay? This is moving deck chairs around on the Titanic because there is no model that is going to save cable and broadcast news. Let's talk about the evening news. Let's just start there. When I was a kid, which was a while ago, I'm 49. When I was a kid, my parents watched the evening news every single night. I was an only child. It was me. My dad sat here, me, my mom. We watched the evening news on a 13-inch black and white TV. God, that makes me sound 200 years old. But that's what we did. Every single night, Dan Rather, the CBS Evening News. We were a CBS Rather family. There were people we knew who were Tom Brokaw people, NBC people. There were people we knew who were Peter Jennings, ABC News people. But everyone watched one of those three shows at either 6 or 6:30 at night because it was the way that you got your news. It was the only thing that you could use to get your news. Well, now Lester Holt. So back in the day, Dan Rather leaving, huge deal. Tom Brokaw leaving, huge deal. These were the faces of these networks. These were the anchors. They were the guy. And it was always almost exclusively guys. But now Lester Holt leaving is kind of like, oh, kind of interesting. And the reason for it is because the evening news is not what it once was. It's not even close. I went back and looked. In 1980, 42.3 million people on average watched the nightly news, either CBS, ABC, or NBC. You know what the number is now? Under 6 million people. Under 6 million people in 40-ish years. Just utter collapse. And here's what's interesting and why I wanted to start on the evening news. The evening news is when we look back, going to be the canary in the coal mine for mainstream media. So evening news started to lose audience pretty rapidly. The only people who were watching it were older folks. And I think some people in the mainstream media were like, okay, well, we're not going to make money on that, but we'll make money on lots of other things. Actually, no. It was a leading indicator that the dominance of legacy or mainstream media was fading, that people no longer looked to those three newscasts or those three networks or the cables for gatekeeping, to be told what mattered and why. And the reasons for that are there's a lot of them. One, trust. People don't trust the mainstream media anymore. It's at 31 or 32%. It's like right up there with attorneys and used car salesmen and politicians. So it's a trust issue. It's a technology issue. So the rise of social media, the rise of the internet, the rise of YouTube, the rise of all of these platforms by which we can convey and get news whenever we want it. This thing, right? The phone. It just fundamentally changed how people relate to news and information and where they want news and information from. And the truth is the news media, the traditional news media didn't adjust fast enough. As all of these other sites were rising, YouTube being a great example, the mainstream media just thought, we're still making money. We're still doing fine. It'll be fine. And the truth is it's not, because they have now been co-opted. They are no longer the gatekeepers of the news. They no longer have a sort of mandate on what is true and what is false because of the trust issue. And I think people are looking elsewhere. There is no dirty little secret of journalism. The dirty little secret of journalism is there's no dirty little secret. This is an emperor has no clothes moment. There's no business model that is going to save mainstream media. So what is happening? You are seeing the rise of independent media. You're seeing the rise of Substack and YouTube and people on TikTok and Instagram and what I call myself an independent news creator. You're going to see more and more and more of that. The mainstream media will not cease to exist, but if I'm being honest, it's going to continue to shrink. So the number of people it employs will shrink. The amount of money it pays those people will shrink. Its coverage, what it can cover, will shrink. And independent media, I think, will fill in a lot of those gaps. You don't have to go to a mainstream media news site anymore to get your news, right? You can get it from someone, hopefully someone like me, who you trust, who you want to support, and that'll scratch that itch. You can get it on your phone. You can get it on your tablet. You can get it on your TV if you want to watch YouTube on your TV. So the point is, this is a moment like when TV replaced radio and then the internet co-opted TV. This is that moment, right? A moment in which the way in which people get their news and information has fundamentally changed. We are not going back. It is not going to go back to the mainstream media somehow sort of revivifying their business model, teaching people to trust them again. No, this is going to be a new era. We're already in it in truth, but I think mainstream media is just realizing it. So my call to you is this. You must support people you trust who are trying to do journalism the right way. You must financially support them. You must spread the word about them. You must tell other people. You must advocate for them, because mainstream media is not going to save you. Mainstream media is not going to come along. Mainstream media is owned by, guess who? Billionaires and giant companies. And guess what those people care about? What do billionaires and big giant companies care about? Making money. They don't care about the journalism. Or if they do, the journalism isn't first in their priority list. Making money is first in their priority list, how they got to be billionaires, or making money for their stockholders, which is how they keep their jobs. That matters the most to them, okay? What matters the most to people like me, independent news creators, is the journalism, is being authentic, honest, fair, independent. So mainstream media is not going to come back. Mainstream media is not going to scratch the itch that it once scratched for you. Those days are gone. We are not going back. The genie is not going back in the bottle. And so what you need to do is support the people you like and trust in this space. I hope that's me. I really hope it's me, but even if it's not, find 10 people, find an independent organization that's trying to do this the right way and support them, because that's the only way forward here. Mainstream media is not the solution. It will not solve your problem. It will not get what you want, which is honest, transparent, journalism first work. And that is critically important now with Donald Trump in the White House and as we go forward. All right. That's my pitch. That's my rant. I hope you take this time to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I hope you take this time to like this video. I hope you take the time to comment on this video. If you have thoughts, I'd love to hear them. And I hope you take the time to tell your friends about what I am doing here, what other independent news creators are doing, and why it is vitally important to our democracy. All right, everybody, take good care.